Big Cal _24 wants to know, how hard did you throw in your freshman year in high school? All right, so for me, I literally think I just told this story in a recent Q&A in which we grew up in an area, and we didn't grow up at the same time, but the area in which we did grow up, like, especially for me being, so my freshman year I was 13, I think, 14, 13. Like the radar gun thing was not popular, and we didn't have pocket radar. Like pocket radar became popular, like I think my third off season. So like radar guns were not easy to come by where we grew up. I remember being 14, and thinking it was a huge deal because I saw a Jugs gun in the stadium one time, and I was like, oh, Jugs gun, and it turns out like those are super inaccurate. But wow. Anyways, Big Cal, to answer your question, when I was 13, I did a lot of travel ball with my brothers, 18U, my dad coached, and we'd always go to Sacramento for like, I think it was the Trotsky Wood Bats tournaments. And there was one occasion, and this happens all the time in the baseball world, in which the starter for the other team was like 17, was getting recruited, or maybe he was scouted, I'm not even sure, but long story short, there was a scout in the stands. I happened to be starting that day, being 13 in an 18U Wood Bat League, and just so got some velo reads. And I'm not gonna lie, I was amped because everyone was talking about how there was a scout in the stands, and they were pissed because like I got the game in which there was a scout in the stands, I got to pitch. And anyways, I remember my mom, I think, asked like the velos, and originally the scout said 88 to 92, but he thought that she was the parent of the other guy, apparently, and it was a lefty, and she was like, oh no, the other guy. And he was like, oh, he was only topping at 83. And my mom's like, yeah, well, he's 13. And the dude was like, wow, look at the lettuce on that guy. And I think I got my name written down, maybe, I'm not sure. But wow, super long story. For no apparent reason, I threw 83 as a 13-year-old, but that was tops. I probably was like sitting like 78, 81. But in my defense, when I was 12, I was like 6'2". And everyone, we always had to carry my birth certificate around in Little League because all the other teams that we would go and play like didn't believe me. It wasn't believing me, it was my parents. Anyways, wow. For some reason, I just got in a real talkative mood. Anyways, Harmless, do you even know how hard you threw in?
No, the first time I ever got gunned was at Casey's when he had Beyond the Bat, or when he was over there.
How old were you?
I was a junior.
So you were 17?
I was a junior or a senior, one of the two. I think it was junior. I can't remember. He would know, I think, but junior or senior year was the first time I ever got radar.
So for those of you guys watching this, therobbyrowshow.com/how-hard. Probably not going to remember to put the link in the description, so you're going to have to manually type that in, or you just go to therobbyrowshow.com/search and search how hard. Because I did a whole segment, because I get asked all the time about like how hard I was throwing at this age, because everyone wants to compare and contrast. And I did a whole segment on like each age that I knew exactly how hard I was throwing. I was very fortunate growing up and having an older brother that, we had the capabilities of going and traveling and playing tournaments and stuff and facing pretty good competition. And then having the ability to go and to play scout ball, which there was radar guns all the time. So I remember having a whiteboard when I turned, I want to say 15. And every time I got radared or velo checked, I would go home and put it in my whiteboard or put it on my whiteboard. And I have a whole segment that you can go check out there. But did you play Cloverdale Little League?
I played Cloverdale.
Okay, so do you remember those little balls that would give you a number? Like the baseball itself?
Oh, yeah.
That give you the speed estimate?
Yeah.
How much? We should do that, dude. We should get one of those and do a comparison video.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, so because I hit 80 when I was 12 on that thing, and I was like, this is concrete.
Yeah.
This is absolutely 80.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, I still, honestly, to this day, have never figured out, like, remember in Little League World Series, watching it on ESPN, it would be like the velo, and then it would be like MLB comparison. And I get it how it's like reaction time, but like, if you're getting radared in a Little League game, it's going to get it out of the hand regardless, right? So that ball is going to be programmed to pick it up out of the hand, right? Top speed, max speed. So it didn't really matter in terms of like it was 46 feet away or it was 60 feet 6 inches, right? You see what I'm saying?
Because
All right.
I don't have the mental capacity for that.
Right. So the ball that we're talking about, right? Like I don't even know if they make those anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess the question would be like, is the ball picking it up like a radar gun would be picking it up out of the hand?
Yes.
That would be the only way, right?
Yes.
Because I know with like, I'm thinking about it in terms of like the pitch logic too.
Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
I was thinking. I was like, is that the precursor?
Yeah. But yeah, now it's crazy because like, I couldn't imagine growing up in today's industry of the game, like having access to like a pocket radar.
Yeah.
Like that's so dope, dude.
I would have loved that.
I think honestly, I think I would have thrown a lot harder in high school if I just like had a radar gun, because not having a radar gun, I think kind of put this notion in my head that it wasn't that important, right? Like we didn't have the means to like check our velos and hold it as like a super high importance in our development, because the only thing we did have was like the book, the scoring book. And like if you were getting your tits lit in the scoring book, dude, like that was bad. But if you were doing good, then like you obviously were doing good. Anyways, super long question response. Good question, Big Cow. We'll move on to the next one.